We've got a ton of news today coming out from the UFC. We have some matchups being made, a potential injury where he might pull out, and we got a new matchup because of that. We have some Bo Nickal news that I missed out a little bit on. Dana White that I missed out on also from a couple days ago. Khamzat Chimaev also. I was going to plan a Nasruddin Imavov versus Kelvin Gastelum video today, but I decided not to. We have a ton of news that I can cover, so I'll just move that video on to another day. So let's get right into the news that we do have today. We have Bo Nickal saying he is not a prelim fighter. I believe this was on Ariel Helwani. He said he's not a prelim fighter. He's a main card fighter, and if he ever is on the prelims, he's just going to retire. Which I get. He's a super confident dude. He got a lot of hate from this, but I can understand it. He is also like one of the best prospects we've seen coming into the UFC. So it's very understandable how he wants to be regarded pretty highly in the UFC on the cards and things like that. Showcase him a lot. For 282, though, where he's scheduled on, UFC might have a hard time figuring out what they're going to do with that one because Bo Nickal, Bo Nickal's on a pretty heavy card there. They're adding more fights to that card, some big fights on the card. We just got Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev that I'm going to talk about later in the video. But that fight got added on to 282. So it's just another fight added on to that pretty relatively bigger card. You obviously have Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochazka as the main event. They might add another main event there, so a co-main event. Maybe they put John Jones and Stipe Miocic. Dana White said I think he's gonna add another main event there, but I'm not too sure what's going on with that card. But yeah, UFC has a lot of work to do for how they're gonna structure this card because there's a lot of pretty solid fights there, and you're gonna have to move them on to the prelims if you want Bo Nickal to open up the card. Again, Bo Nickal's pretty entertaining. It's not like he's a super boring dude, so you can put him on the main card, but it'll just be interesting to see how they set it up. Try and convince him to like headline the prelims or something. But yeah, that's what we have for this news. Let's move on. Oh, also, I want to get into this real quick. Khamzat Chimaev, apparently he is stuck in Russia. He went to go visit family. He's stuck there because of the war or whatever the hell's going on with their laws and stuff over there that's not allowing him to come back over. So he's stuck over there. What does this mean? I don't even know. I don't even know what division he's going to be in. Is he 170, 185? Is he going to fight Colby? Is he not? Is he going to fight Paulo Costa? I don't even know what the hell's going on with Khamzat Chimaev. But if they wanted to do Colby and Khamzat at some point this year, can they really do that anymore? Will they let him come by? I have no idea. Very confusing situation. I don't know what the hell is going to happen to Khamzat. It's not like he's going to get a title shot. I think they're waiting for Usman for that one, or they could put him in there real quick. I think they really want to do that Wembley Arena card though. But very confusing situation here. I don't even know what the hell this means for the rest of the division or the divisions he's in because we don't know where he's going. So I just wanted to cover that real quick, and then I'm going to go move on to the next one. Next, we have news on Dana White. He is very ripped, as you can see, lost 10 pounds. People were freaking out about this. It was a pretty big announcement. I saw some people like kind of hating on Dana White. I'm like, what the hell? Is like, USADA, you're gonna be on roids. It's like, no shit, he's on roids. Like you couldn't tell that shit like a while ago. Like he's obviously on roids. He's not a fighter, so it doesn't matter. Don't worry about USADA. It's not that big of a deal. But good for Dana White. He lost weight. Whether he's on roids or not is insignificant. He's on roids, but good for him. He's healthy. Apparently the doctor said he was going to die in like 10 years or whatever, so good for him. Hope he is doing well. And let's get back into the the fighter news. I just wanted to cover that real quick because I saw a lot of people talking about it. Movsar Evloev is apparently injured in camp. That's what the word is around the street, kind of. I forgot the guy's name again. It's like Girovali Kash. I'm not going to try and say his name, but a source is saying that Movsar Evloev is injured in their camp and that this fight, or he might pull out the fight. And Ilya Topuria did say that he was going to be a backup fighter for this fight and the Calvin Kattar versus the Arnold Allen fight. So Looks like Ilya Topuria might scoot his way into this fight if it's true that Movsar is going to pull out here. The Ilya Topuria fight versus Bryce Mitchell fight is a little less interesting. Like, obviously, we want to see more of Ilya Topuria. He's a new prospect against a pretty good grappler in Bryce Mitchell. We want to see that quite a bit. But this was, like, pretty good grappling coming head-to-head, and it would just be interesting to see how both of them fight. But, again, they're both pretty interesting fights. But I'm going to be I'm just going to be talking about the fight of Ilya Topuria versus Bryce Mitchell a little bit. This fight is super interesting. Obviously, Ilya Topuria, I believe his last fight, where was his last fight? It was in 155 against, I forgot his name. The Cheney dude. Does he work out with, does he train with Leon Edwards? I'm trying to remember. But he almost got KO'd in his last fight. Ended up KOing the dude. Looked iffy, but you could tell, like, 145 is his division. He's really small for 155. But this fight is super interesting. I think I would want to do a little bit more research on both of these fighters before I even make a pick here. I am kind of leaning Ilya Topuria here, but I'd be fine with Bryce Mitchell winning this fight. This will be a super competitive fight. I think this is like Ilya Topuria is a real test so far. We were supposed to see the Barboza fight, which would kind of give us an idea of how he is, but this is a pretty solid test here. I am gonna edge it to Ilya Topuria, but I'm not gonna have any confidence in any of this decision here, because I'm probably just gonna do an early prediction for sometime during the week. I believe I can probably do this fight and then maybe another one for an early prediction. But I'm going to do some more research into this fight before I actually give like a 100% prediction. But I am leaning a little bit towards Ilya just for stand-up wise. I think he's just better on the feet. And grappling, that's where I want to look more into, because I think Ilya Topuria does have some pretty solid grappling. And obviously Bryce Mitchell is really good at wrestling. So I kind of want to look more into that before I give an actual 100% confident prediction here. But that's where my line is kind of at on this fight. And then next up we have Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev's last fight was against Anthony Smith. I think Anthony Smith injured his foot or whatever, and then Ankalaev finished him off there like by TKO, I believe, from what I remember. Jan Blachowicz's last fight, Rakic got injured with a kick or something like that. He kicked like Jan Blachowicz's. No, that was a different injury. We had such a bad run of main event injuries, but Rakic got injured in his last fight. I believe he tore his like ACL or something in his knee. I don't remember exactly what the injury was, but they both won injury wise. I mean, they're both kind of winning the fight. I think Rakic actually was edging it a little bit in their fight. It didn't go too long, but you both had guys that won with injuries in the fight. Put them together, get a title eliminator in there after the after the Yuri Prochazka and Glover Chatera fight. You got this fight coming up. So on the same card, actually, so I'm guessing one of these guys will probably be the backup fighter. Maybe you can justify Jan as the backup fighter, but I'm not too sure about that. Like, he's got one fight since getting tapped out by Glover. Ankalaev, you can justify that one too. But this fight is super interesting also. I think I'm going to edge it to Ankalaev. Glover is getting up there in age. I think it'll be pretty close on the feet. I think I'll edge the power to Jan Blachowicz here. Not edge it. I'll give him the power to Jan Blachowicz here. But the striking wise, I think it's relatively even here. Ankalaev doesn't really grapple too much from what I remember in his last few fights. So I'll give him the advantage there. I think Jan Blachowicz did solid against Rakic on the ground. I just think as the fight goes on, it's the more important part. This is 3 rounds, so high output, should be a pretty fun fight for light heavyweight. But I think I will edge it to Ankalaev. I'm not 100% certain on it. I'll probably do a early prediction on this one also, but that's where my mind is for this one. But yeah, those are my that is the news, and that's my thoughts. Those are my opinions on the fight and the news with Dana White and Hamzat Chimaev and Bo Nickal. We will get early predictions for. I'll definitely do Bryce Mitchell and Ilya Topuria. I'll do the Nasruddin Imavov and Kelvin Gastelum fight. We don't have a fight this weekend on Saturday, so maybe I'll try and make a video there. I'm not too sure. I got to schedule some of the videos out. Make sure I have time because we get so many 2-week breaks in a row, right? And it's wonderful. And we have probably the predictions for Grasso Araujo on Sunday. And yes, we'll just flow into that and then non-stop cards for like a while. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.